baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah.
Action.
All right.
Welcome. You are now tuned into 237 TV, and this is the first episode of the Real Rap Raw podcast. I am your host, Mr. Devin 237, and this is my new co-host here,
Xavier, X the Vegan.
Okay, X the Vegan what? X the Vegan Chef.
X the Vegan Chef.
Okay, he don't just cook.
Yeah,
he
X
cook.
the Vegan Chef.
He cook with soul for the soul, if you
Absolutely.
will.
Cook with love, man.
That's a fact. Now, I'm going to do a quick little shuffle of the deck with actions over words, affirmation cards, okay? And I want y'all to understand that this is not just, for marketing purposes. I'm trying to put these out here to look cute. Yes, it's my product. It is for sale, but we're going to set the tone. And I want y'all to think about these affirmations when you hear us speak them out, okay? All right, let's do it. So what I'm going to do, I'm shuffle them up. I'm going to pull out 3 like I normally do, and then you can do the first 2, and I'll pull out the last one, all right?
Okay, sounds good.
1, 2, 3. Do your thing.
All right.
What you got?
So the first one is, it's okay for me to say no. That's a powerful one.
I'm glad you pulled that for the first
That's a
one.
powerful one. Ooh.
Speak into
Got the
existence.
blank one.
Ah,
I
okay.
got the blank one.
I'm glad you did that. So
The
for
blank
anybody
one.
that wonders why this card is blank, each deck of affirmation cards has 52 like a regular deck, but I left 10 blank so you can write your own affirmations with a permanent marker so you can speak it into your life in your own voice and your own words, okay? So I'm going to give you another one. Make sure I got one on here. All right, cool. Yep. Put that in.
Let's see what this says. Every day, in every way, I am getting healthier.
Now, behind the scenes, we already talked about this one, but clearly,
We did.
God in the universe, whatever you want to believe up there, said, nah, you got to pull this one out. This is what we talking about. This is what we talking about. Yes, I'm just excited because I'm glad you pulled that one. So, matter of fact, do me a favor. Repeat those 2 again for me.
For sure. So the first one is, it's okay for me to say no.
It's okay for me to say no.
The second one is, every day, in every way, I am getting healthier.
Shameless plug. Okay. All right. So last but not least, my card. What I got?
What was that last one?
It's for everybody. These are for everybody. Every card here, but I will never give up. Whatever you're going through, trust me, I know. And I may not be going through what you're going through, but my own, situations, there's been times where I felt like I didn't have any options, or I may not have known how to get out of certain things, or I didn't know what the other side of today looked like. Because tomorrow is that. We don't know what tomorrow look like. And we get, crazy anxious over it. And we get all, sometimes upset because we can't control what's going to happen next. Just know the only thing you can control is never giving up.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay,
That was a good one. That's a good one, quote.
You dig me? That's how you start this off, baby.
I like that.
All right, so this is the first episode, like I said, for the Real Rap Raw podcast. And Mr. X the Vegan Chef is going to be a reoccurring host. And I'm going to have him speak about everything he does. We're going to have a couple questions. But first and foremost, I want to introduce what the Real Rap Raw podcast is about. It's not just about the vegan lifestyle and just about my products and selling things. Like, it's about opening up people's minds to different ways of thinking, more along on the positive side. Because not for nothing, everything we go through can put us in a position to think like I was just speaking before. I don't know where tomorrow's gonna lead me. I don't know what's gonna happen next. I don't know how to control what's gonna happen next. So I want you to understand that at the end of the day, what you're going through right now is temporary. And these affirmation cards will remind you of that in many different ways. All right, but aside from the cards, the podcast in general, like I was speaking of, I want people to how can I say, live the life you love. And the only way you can do that is by taking control of it. Okay? That's the whole gist of this. So we're gonna have a lot of love going on, a lot of information. Gonna have a little bit of entertainment in here as well, a little sprinkle of razzle dazzle, dig. So it's not boring, you're not watching like wah 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 wah. I want it to be something you can say, hey, when you gonna put the next episode up? I'm ready for episode 237 of Real Rap Raw Podcast on 237 TV. I just thought of that. Okay.
Let's get that.
All right. So
positive influence, positive energy,
positive vibes,
environment, man.
all of that.
Manifesting that.
Speaking of, one of my cards, it does say this, but I just thought about it, and being that he spoke it just now, I want y'all to do, if you're gonna do anything in 2020 for the next decade, because it's a new decade, and the rest of your life, is to protect your energy. I beg of you, please do the best you can with that. And that sometimes begins with learning that it's okay to say no. You dig what I'm saying?
I was gonna ask, like, how do people protect their energies? You know what I mean? Like
we can
what
get
ways?
into it.
Yeah, like give like 2 examples, 2, 3
All right,
examples.
so
I think that like it's a good takeaway for them.
that's a fact. I'm with that. And this is the Real Rap Up podcast, so it's gonna be little times where we go not so much off topic, but if something sounds good, we gotta put it out there so you can receive it on the other end. All right, but so 2 examples of how to protect your energy. Number 1, I would say, is learning yourself, because within learning yourself, you can find out the things that don't sit well with your spirit. You dig what I'm saying? Because I know me, I'm working on getting out of it, so I'm not gonna say this is me in general, but sometimes I can tend to feel like I have to be a people pleaser, and you don't always have to do that. So when you create a mindset for yourself in that way, you're gonna always feel like you have to make somebody happy in order for you to get that energy that you need, that you're supposed to be protecting in the first place. When in reality is, you really need to know yourself and know your boundaries, if you will, and know that, it's okay to say no. Certain situations, certain people, they may not be for you. And just because it's maybe people that you know directly as maybe friends or even family, you got to understand that, everybody has their own path. Everybody. Just because you were born in the same neighborhood as somebody doesn't mean you're going to go in the same direction for the rest of your life.
Right.
So in certain situations, you have to protect your energy by saying, okay, this place or this thing or this situation, whatever, is not for me. So let me, wean myself off of it, if anything, or cut it off altogether. Figure out one of the 2 and bust a dance move, okay? Another way to protect your energy,
What you thinking?
by making sure that in every way, every day, you find a new way to get healthy. By making the right decisions.
That could be mentally, that could be through diet, right? Some examples.
Mental, physical, spiritual, all of that. It all ties into that. So, being that this is the first episode, and I have X the Vegan Chef on here, I want to shed light on that one thing that he obviously brought to my attention just now. The main thing that's going to control everything as far as your mental, spiritual, and physical is going to be what you put into your temple.
Absolutely.
Now listen to what I just said. I did not say your body, because everybody feel like, everybody has a body, but not many people look at their body as their temple, because that's what it is. I want y'all to understand and realize that. So that'll be the second one. I would say, number 1, make sure that you learn yourself and find out the things that are and are not for you, and put yourself in a position to receive the things that are for you and stay away from what's not. And also make sure, and that's pretty much almost
you
the
can
same.
feel that. It's like you can feel yourself through, what's good for you and what's not. What's good for you, for me, actually feels like it's like going with the flow. And then what's not for you, you feel like you have to do it, but it's forced. It's not something that you get organically. Like, let's say, because I'm a person that likes to be of good service, I would want to go above and beyond. Let's say, I make the food, but I make it also with love. So even if I'm tired and I don't want to do it, like, I find a reason, which is pleasing the person through the food. So I'm like, I know this is going to be good for that person because they haven't had it. Let me make it to the best of my abilities and with love, so that they receive that and then they feel, the love that I made the food with. So that's a way, you know what I'm saying, that you can distinguish between if it's forced or if it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Because I was like, he gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
Okay, I dig it.
I
dig it.
I'm talking with this, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm not gonna say that you don't like seeing people smile. Yeah. Some people don't, but pardon me, you're gonna catch me cheesing like a fool and smiling all crazy because me and him actually only met, was it a month ago, right?
Yeah, it was
at least
Soulful. It was a Soulful Saturday, I think it was.
Soulful Saturdays.
Early December.
It was the 7th, right?
Yeah, it was early December.
Yeah, so it ain't been a month yet.
It hasn't been that long. It's just that because of the vacation and like the holiday period.
Yeah, it makes it feel that way. So I've
It hasn't
known
been
this.
that long.
I've known this gentleman for less than a year, and we came together off of the one thing that we all need to pay attention to: the food. Okay.
Energy too.
The energy. The energy. Yeah.
The energy,
Let's be real.
the energy was there.
Because he
and
seen
like,
my product and what I was about, and then we, conversed, if you will. That's a word, right? I know that was a big argument. They converse, whatever. We had a conversation
the
about
energy, yo, that shit's important.
You
It's
feel
important.
me? It's very important. That sugar honey iced tea is very important.
Absolutely.
Okay, so number 1, 2. Aside from protecting your energy, I want you to understand that energy is transferable. Okay, so with protecting your energy, know that, okay, something that may, like you were saying, feel forced, or something that may not feel like it's good for you, you may feel like it's something bad on the other side of that, or whatever the case may be, pay attention to that. Your intuition.
It's subtle. It's very subtle.
It is.
It's subtle.
It is. So sometimes it may not shout at you. It may not be like, hey, look at me. You want to come over here? I may end your life. Like, it ain't going to say that
It could be
outright.
like a gut feeling or like, and then you could just like turn it off. But like it was there and then it alerted you at that exact moment. But if you don't pay attention, you're under the influence, you might not be able to pick up on those cues.
That's a fact. Now, with that being said, too, I want y'all to understand something. Learn to be able to learn or try to learn how to distinguish the difference between when you feel that feeling, it being you having fear or false evidence appearing real because it's an opportunity or something that you've never come across. So you're like, whoa, I don't know. Don't look at it like that all the time if it's something that you know could possibly be good for you. If you know good and gosh darn well, you don't belong there and you got to get out. I think you should. Okay. So therefore, take the time to
judgment.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Use your better judgment to the best of your abilities. And if you feel like you really don't have it and you have the time to ask the question to somebody to find out, ask. Humble yourself and say, hey, I'm not sure if this is right for me. Should I take that step right or should I just go left? You feel me? So that's that on that. Real Rap Raw Podcast. Let's get real raw in here. All right, so let's get into it. The first question that we have is, if a random person asked you who Xavier or X the Vegan Chef is, what will you tell them? Go, and I'm gonna eat and enjoy while he spits his piece.
So before we get into that, he's gonna be eating. I made a vegan chopped cheese sandwich.
And this is a mukbang podcast, so we got to do the whole. You know
we
what I mean?
we gonna do that.
And let me. I gotta make sure. Oh, okay, can y'all see that? They barely can see it because of lighting, but bro, like y'all gotta get the vibe, my guy. And this is what right here.
This is a Chipotle mayo.
And it's what? Vegan.
Vegan Chipotle mayo, absolutely.
No eggs or babies, fetuses or harmed in this.
None of that.
Okay. And before you get into what you're gonna talk about, let me take this bite. I want to let y'all know something. Y'all gonna get my initial reaction. This is Real Rap Raw. Let's just do it. Okay. Stop laughing. This is good. Boy, wait a minute. Just double dip because it's my cup.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that right there, like, that's what keeps me going. You know what
I
I'm saying?
love food.
That keeps me going.
Yo.
That keeps me going, honestly.
I came from Long Island to Brooklyn for this, so I want y'all to know that.
You can find it on my page, X the Vegan, IG. You just go on there. It's on there. Place your orders in the DMs.
Yo, you know how like when if you ever got your behind beat and then yo, my heart is filled with that same intensity level of love with this vegan. What is this again?
Chopped cheese, a vegan chopped cheese, yo.
Boy. Okay.
Funny thing is, he was here when I was making the beef, so he tried the beef separately, and now when it's all together, it's a different taste. So
okay,
vegan chopped cheese. Let's get back to this question.
So before you get into that question, being that this is a vegan episode, I want them to understand something. Okay, me introducing the people, my audience, to this the vegan lifestyle. I want y'all to understand a couple things, and he's gonna chime in. So the number one, me myself, and I'm sure we discussed this. He feels the same way. Like the vegan lifestyle for us is not something that we're trying to like shove down nobody's throat and say you have to do this or you can't sit at the cool kids table or the fact that you eat meat makes you a bad person. That is not what this is.
It's not the angle I approach my food either.
there are activists out there.
Not food either.
There are activists out there, and all power to them. You know, God bless, they do what they do. We welcoming everybody into learning something that they never knew existed, because at the end of the day, we don't know what we don't know until somebody tells us. Okay? So what we're giving you guys is information with love. So we want you to take this and put this into your life. Like, not for nothing, for the people that know, my father passed from stage 4 liver cancer. Now, if I knew in time, I could have helped him. I could have helped him with the vegan lifestyle. But it wasn't enough time. You know what I'm saying? And God bless. I love you, Daddy. I'm going to make sure I can help everybody else that I have the power to by doing things like what we're doing right now.
Just exposure.
So I want y'all to understand, like, this is not us saying anything bad about whoever is not down with vegan lifestyle. This is just us trying to show you a different way of living. And not for nothing, to get into the vegan lifestyle, it's not something you got to just cold turkey like that. Let yourself gradually get into it. You know what I'm saying? Be real with yourself and say, hey, my willpower ain't up there like that. Maybe I'll have one vegetarian meal for the week and start there. That's you making a conscious decision to take control of your life, because it starts with your health. Whatever you put into your body is going to affect the way you think. Not only the way you feel and function, you're going to get to a place where, if there's people, I've seen it, they feel like they can't come back from everything they've done. And let's be real. Some of us, it's going to take us time to, if we want to go into lifestyle wholeheartedly and do this for the rest of our lives. Let's think about it. I'm 29.
27.
Okay, we've been here for 20 plus years. So I'm saying that to say this. Realize you've done whatever you've done to your body for X amount of years. It's not going to happen for you overnight. But what I want you to do is, number one, never give up. Fight the good fight. And number one, stay in your lane in this marathon, not this race.
Absolutely.
Okay? I just had to put that out there for anybody that hops on this and says, oh, they talking about vegan stuff. Here we go.
Let's cut that right there.
You did? Nip that in the bud, you heard?
Absolutely.
All right, so the question was, the Real Rap World podcast, to get back into it, if a real random person, asks you, who is Xavier, before we even get into the chef aspect, what would you tell them? Go.
So, I'm a person who likes to serve people, because I understand, you know, like my mom. So everything that I do is based off my relationship with my mom and how she brought me up. So the first thing that I would like to do if a person doesn't know me is, one, treat them with respect. Two, show them that, you know, I'm a familiar person or can be that person for them. Number three is also just being real with them, like, you know, sugarcoating stuff I don't really like to do. So if somebody would ask me who is Xavier, I'm a person who is honest, direct, and will show you compassion and love when other people might even count you out. So because I understand that, you know, people can change, and, you know, there's so many things in this world that people view as negative and bad, but like the ability to sift through all that information and think for yourself is so important, that and it's not so common, that that's what I want to, you know, that's the person that I want to be, and the energy that I put out every day. Is being understanding, super understanding, and also treating people with love, even if you're not feeling like it's your best day. So that's the person I am. For somebody who doesn't know me. And this is just Xavier, like, that's not even the vegan portion of it, because that's a separate person in itself too.
I hear something in the background, so I'm gonna take care of that.
Yeah.
Real Rap World podcast, the first episode. I'm shooting it off an iPhone. All right,
bro. Everything starts small, man.
Somebody mentioned tea with their pot somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Listen, pardon if you hear the noise in the background, y'all. It'll go away promptly. I ain't tripping off of that because I barely hear it. But anyway, so that's who Xavier is. Okay. Now, Xavier is now a vegan chef. Absolutely. So the next question is, what made you want to become X, the vegan chef?
Okay, so this is I'm gonna give you some background on me. So I wasn't always vegan. I come from a Dominican background. I used to eat pernil, fried chicken. Yeah, so pernil, fried everything, chicharrón, rice and beans, extra beans, you know what I'm saying? People who love beans, there's people out there. And everything under the sun at whatever time, chocolates, you could like name it, all of that. So there was this one point in time in 2016, in the summertime, where I was eating everything under the sun. I was going out, I was drinking Hennessy, all that extra whatever. I was doing all of it, right? And then I had a reality check where I went to the doctors. I got a physical, and the reports came back okay. I was, deficient with vitamin D because we don't get enough sun in New York. And it was B12 was low. And then the thing that shocked me was I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic. So it's a couple of percentages points. I was already in that pre-diabetic realm. And I'm like, at 22, 23, I was like, really? I have pre-diabetes? Like, that shocked me. I was like, oh, hold on, I'm not doing something right.
Everybody that's watching,
I'm not doing something right.
Pardon the interruption.
Yeah,
like, they seen what I did. You didn't see it. You were looking down when you was talking. Like, my eyes lit up, because unfortunately, my friend Eric, God bless, I love you, bro. He passed after my father did in August due to, if I'm not mistaken, pardon me if I'm speaking out wrong about it, but from what I would know, it was a diabetic heart attack.
Okay.
And he was going to be 29, just like me. Wow. I'm October 1st, he's October 3rd. Both born in 1990. And guess where he's from?
DR?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, okay.
Yeah. So you're saying all this just like took me for a loop for us. Like I had a moment. I'm not about to cry on camera, but like I had a moment. So, like, two things. Please take care of yourselves before you get pre-diabetic, and if you are, do something about it. And
we're gonna get into how like I reversed it. So
okay. And then my next thing, because you mentioned you were vitamin D deficient. Get outside and get into some sunlight, please. Please, y'all. And then also get into liquid vitamins. I don't know if I didn't talk to you about that yet. But liquid vitamins obviously go straight into the bloodstream. So therefore, you take that liquid vitamin, you're going to be getting so many nutrients going directly into your body as opposed to a pill or capsule that you got to break down. A little bit more expensive, but trust me when I tell you, it's so much more worth the investment as opposed to trying like 80 pills to have certain different things be supplemented into your body where you can just take 2 shots from a liquid vitamin and go about your day, and it will give you a boost of energy on top of that too. I'm gonna put that out there. But all right, so you're back to saying you found out you were pre-diabetic. Right,
2016 summer I was pre-diabetic, and then this was news to me, but like I've always like went up and down in weight. So I've always had like a 30-pound range of weight that I would just shoot up. Like when I don't do nothing, I don't play. I play sports. So I play basketball. And whenever I'm not doing anything like that, and I continue eating the way I do when I'm exercising, I'll shoot up like immediately. I'll notice it.
I'm about to bust you on that real court one day.
Yeah, I mean we could do it. There's sparks everywhere, you know.
We're gonna see what's up.
We can all do that.
I'm competitive. I've always been a little how can you say vertically deficient, if you will. And I had to be, little Nate Robinson, little Muggsy Bogues of the court in my time, in my heyday. So we gonna see if a brother still got it.
Cool. We can definitely hoop.
So how you reverse back to your
right? So so it was steps into it, right? So I didn't jump into veganism like directly. I was exposed to a certain documentary which you might have heard of or might not. It's called What the Health.
Yep.
Once I decided, so again, energy and speaking stuff into existence. So once I decided that I wasn't going to be pre-diabetic and I wasn't going to be over, like I was 260 plus at 5'11", 260. That's heavy, bro. Like that's heavy. That's heavy, right? Like that's heavy. But people couldn't tell because it was like sort of you look kind of muscular, but like nah, I could tell I was slow. I was moving and whatever.
The stuff that's going on in your insides, boy.
It's a whole different. I'm pre-diabetic, bro. Like what can you do at that point? So once I decided and I put that into the environment, into the atmosphere, energy was put out into the world. I got that information back. Like I stumbled upon it on Netflix. I was like, oh, let me just watch this. And then once I was watching, I was like, oh, I gotta give this a try. Like I gotta give this a try. So I dedicated 30 days. I did to myself. I was like 30 days. I'm gonna write everything down that I'm eating. Everything's gonna be vegan, and I'm gonna see how I'm feeling. So I started off plant-based, right? Plant-based is just eating like less processed versions of healthy foods, right? No, and so plant-based is eating like the whole foods of the vegan life.
Right.
Sort of thing. So I was eating my salads, and it was salads for like 2 weeks straight, bro. Like juices, and I dropped, no lie, like 30 pounds, like off of those 2 weeks, bro. Like 30 pounds just came off, and I started seeing like some abs forming, and I wasn't really even doing much. I wasn't even like really playing ball. I was just like eating better, and like I was just cutting weight. I was shocked. So then after the end of those 30 days, I documented how I was feeling on day 1 to day 30. And then that solidified me as, I'm vegan and I'm not going back. Like, and then what made me become extra vegan was my friend Ginger. She's amazing. We was talking about like, what can I do on the side?
Shout out to Ginger.
Shout out to Ginger.
You know why, Ginger? You gonna watch this. You gonna see it.
You gonna get this. You was dead as inspiration because we was talking like, X, what can you do? Or I want a side hustle, but like something that's meaningful. And this is 2017 now, right? I'm thinking about I'm losing weight. I'm cooking. My cooking is good. My family likes it. And then me and Ginger was bouncing off ideas. She was like, yo, so like, what are you doing? I'm like, I see you cooking a lot. Like, you ever thought about making that like something that you do? And I was like, yo, why not? And then I have a couple other friends that actually gave me the name X the Vegan.
Okay.
So CO, my fraternity brother, Omega Psi Phi, he was like, yo, this is X the Vegan. And then I kind of just rolled with it. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made it my thing. So that's how X the Vegan came about.
Okay.
Real long-winded story, but that's really, that's how X the Vegan became to be. And then I started selling food, and then my friends in the neighborhood started buying it and promoting it. And then now I'm doing this. So that's how it came to be, bro.
I'm gonna definitely do one more shout out to Shorty because let's be real.
For sure.
If it wasn't for her, me and you would have never met, bro. Because let's think about it. Not for nothing. I don't know how you met Tanisha. Shout out to Miss Wellness, by the way.
Wellness.
And shout out to her because we wouldn't have never met too if it wasn't for her as well. But yeah. So like, if you wasn't on that path, thanks to your friend Ginger bringing that into your mental, I wouldn't be here with you right now vibing like this. Like,
absolutely.
Let's be real. We over here making history, bro. You dig what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I want people to understand the magnitude of that because at the end of the day, making history does not have to be you changing the whole entire world, but the world that you live in and whoever you come in contact with.
Absolutely.
You dig? So therefore, we can, one day when we're not here no more, we can say, yo, our spirit, our soul is going to sit well because we did the best we could to help our people. You feel me?
Absolutely.
So, and speaking of that, just shout out to Nipsey Hussle real quick. We lost him in 2018, or was it this year, 19?
2018.
It's 2018, yeah.
I remember the year. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, that's why I asked, but I feel like it was yesterday still. Like,
matter of fact, while we here, let me just look that up. Just
do your thing, but
we gotta show him some respect.
If y'all don't know who Nipsey Hussle is, please do look up his feel free to look up his music and look up his legacy and what the man was about. I want you to understand, like, these people, we have to keep them alive because at the end of the day, he stood for doing the right thing, becoming your own man or woman, and love, integrity, and respect. Like, that's the words I think of when I think of Nipsey Hussle.
Bro, my fault to cut you off.
You good?
March 31st, 2019, so this year.
Yeah, it was this year. So God bless. R.I.P.
33?
33.
33.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
33.
Young brother.
33.
So thank you, Nip, for everything you gave us. My father, with actions over words. Everybody we lost that's made a big impact. People like Tupac, then Muhammad Ali, like mad people. Like, thank you for everything y'all did for us and putting us in the position to have discussions like this. You know what I'm saying? To actually believe in ourselves, to do something outside of what we see every day. Because I want y'all to understand something. I made these cards, and shout out to my graphic designer, Secret Design.
There we go.
I don't know how. I ain't mentioned this before right now, but as you can see, the beautiful display we have here, okay, was made by Miss Leandra Sika, aka Sika Design. Contact her for all your graphic design needs. Okay, but I want y'all to understand this, and I break this down to people when I get the chance to, is that I walk back and forth. I walk back and forth to work every day. When I can't get a ride, Alright? I don't complain, and I just end up making people smile by being myself. That's me saying, you know what? I got everything I need. Let me make the best of my situation. So me having that mindset put me in a position to say, you know what? I could create a product that can help people. This could be part of my contribution to changing the world. So I said, let's do it. And my graphic designer who made my business cards, who made this banner, helped me create something that is also helping to keep my father's legacy alive, and also helping me shed light onto things that people don't pay attention to, especially when they got so much negative in their face all the time. It's kind of hard to see the positive, you feel me? So I say that to say this. I still live at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have everything in the world, but I do have everything I need to make my world the best that I want it to be for me. So if you have a dream out there, please do me a favor. Whatever resources you got, hone in on those resources. Hone in on your creativity and your friends, because they got something that you may not even realize can be an asset to you and you to them, vice versa.
Absolutely.
And get to work. Because I'm not working for nobody for the rest of my life. My father, he did almost till he passed, and then he ended up working just for himself. I'm working on doing that for myself before I get to a certain age and helping other people realize you can do it too. All right? So this right here was not made by me having $1 million or nothing crazy like that.
Bro, you have a card in there that says, I have everything I need. What? I don't know the exact verbiage of it.
I have everything I need to get everywhere I want to be.
That's one of his cards, y'all. I have them.
And
How many cards you have? 30?
There's 52 cards
cards
in each deck, and there's 10 that are blank, so you can write your own affirmations into the cards. Okay? So yes, you have everything you need, pardon me, to get to where you want to be in life. You just got to focus on what you have and really use it to your advantage, and not sit here and whine and complain and moan and groan about what you don't have, because guess what? That's not how you're going to get it. Okay? And I say that with love. All right?
But it's real. It's real.
It's real.
We spoke about that. It's real.
On the Real Rap On podcast, we keeping it real.
Real.
All right? So,
Yes, sir.
the next question is going to be number 3. A defining moment that changed your life and made you look at the world differently.
So the point in my life where I started questioning more, I was always inquisitive as a child. Like, I never really believed a lot of stuff. But the point where I saw the documentary and I started doing my own research on the fluoride.
The What the Health documentary, right?
Right, What the Health documentary. How they were feeding all these chickens antibiotics, a million whatever drugs, the pharmaceutical company. And then once they tied up that all of the major health organizations American Heart
ASS,
right,
yeah.
right. They're all funded by these big meat industries, the egg industry, the conglomerates. So it's who are they really helping? You know what I'm saying? They're helping the people who are sponsoring them. So once I started to look at the world who's sponsoring who, and based on what I'm eating, I started to see a lot of lies and a lot of eye-opening moments. I'm oh, I've been sleeping all this time. I'm just taking information I'm seeing in the TV and just regurgitating it. I'm not really thinking for myself. And that's when I had to take a step back. And I'm I'm being lied to straight up to my face, and people smiling in my face telling me this is what it is. And that hurt me the most. But it was a moment where I'm yo, I need to do the research for myself. I need to try for myself. If it doesn't sit well with my stomach, it's not for me. So that's the point where I'm I'm not taking anybody's word for everything.
I'm gonna look it up myself.
I'm doing my own research. And we can be telling you yo, this is good for you, but it might not be good for your stomach. But the food I make is a transition for non-vegans. So if I can get them to try a plant-based variety of the meals that are already out there, it can be easier to reach them and you know what I'm saying, just show them this another different world that it was never shown to me in the way that I'm trying to do it for them. So that's really what drives me still.
So you were speaking about how you got lied to, so I want to shed light on something for the people. And y'all gonna pardon me for digging in my teeth. It's the Real Rap World Podcast. Can't get more realer than that. Alright? Because I know you ain't cute when you eating your food with nobody around. We gonna keep it real in the field. Okay. Something I want to shed light on, right?
My fault.
Yeah? This man having a reaction to his own food he just made. He been doing this. That's how you know it's good. I'm gonna ask you a question.
What's up?
I know I'm gonna sound like a smart ASS.
What up?
What do cows eat?
They graze in the field, so greens and whole food, so like grass. Like,
Okay.
they're supposed to be eating grass.
And what does a cow typically weigh? About a ton, right?
Well, yeah, they're pretty heavy.
And if I'm not mistaken, a ton is 1,000 pounds. Maybe I'm wrong, whatever, but I know they weigh about that much.
They weigh a lot.
Alright, next question. What does a giraffe eat?
Long necks, leaves off the trees.
Alright, now let's bring it back to what, some people say we were made from.
Right.
What do apes, monkeys, and chimps and all of them eat? Chimpanzees.
They eat veggies. Fruits, veggies, whatever they can get their hands into.
And them
They're not
beautiful
carnivores.
creatures.
They're not carnivores.
It'd be wider than all outside, okay? They got a lot going on over here in this area, okay? And strong like bull. So, with that being said, let me say this from a place of love. You feel me? I want you to think about that when you think of the number one objection everybody has when it comes to the vegan, plant-based, vegetarian lifestyle. Where do I get my protein? So, I'm gonna tell y'all something, and it's gonna be a shock to y'all because they taught us this from youth. Before we was even a thought, me and him. Before your mother was, and your daddy, and your grandpappy, and your grandmammy. Protein is not as 1,000% necessary as they make it for us. Yes, it is, but not to the extent that they make it. Because let's be real, think about this, y'all. An ape can damn near break through bulletproof glass. That's a strong brother or sister. And not one time do you see them eating meat. And they don't even miss it because they never had it.
Yep. They're not worried about protein. Like, they don't count proteins to get, you know what I'm saying? It's just a different.
And they strong. So you got to understand that. You're not a weak individual when you don't eat a bunch of steak and chicken.
And again, you can fact check this. You can check to see what apes eat. Like,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're saying it, but like, if you really want to know, go into the web. It's free information.
Look this up, and then being that we just both finished our food, I'm gonna take the plate. Cause not for nothing, you served me. Let me help you out, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, put this right here, and then pardon the noise as I check and make sure we still filming and everything's good in the neighborhood. Yes, we are. 39 minutes. Wow, it's gonna be about an hour, but whatever. It's a podcast, y'all. So, yes, like we just said, please do your fact checks. You want some more water?
Oh, absolutely.
I got you, man.
Awesome.
So do your fact checks. Like, don't just take our word for it. Please do your due diligence and make sure things make sense to you. Okay? So therefore, you can make an honest, conscious decision and say, you know what? Maybe I should give this a try. I may do it, the way X, the vegan chef, and Devin237 introduced it to me. Or I may do some more research or find a different way to do it. Absolutely. But at least at the end of the day, I can say, all right, you know what? I'm taking control of my life and trying to do something to better my health because I want to be here as long as I can. And as long as I'm living here, I want to be here comfortably on the inside.
Absolutely.
Not ending up, in angst and anxiety and feeling like, oh my God, what's going on inside of me? Well, you got to remember, you put that inside of you. Okay?
Appreciate you, brother.
And before we continue, I want to take a second because, like I just said, we did finish our food. So I'm going to do something that I do on 237 TV that I have on my Instagram story, which will be coming back. If it's by the time I put this out there, it'll be back already. But on 237 TV, what I do is breathing exercises. Okay? So I want to do that real quick now that we done ate all that food, which was so fire. And Okay, you wasn't aiming for
I
that.
was just shooting over.
All right, cool. Because I'm about to say, you better get better than that, brother. Do your practice. Oh, we got something coming at the end. Y'all see that when y'all see that.
I won the first match. We gonna say nothing.
We're not going to talk about that right now, Scrap. We're going to talk about that, Scrap.
That's all I got the shirt.
He about that action. And no, that's how you got a discount.
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
you're right,
affirmation cards.
right.
He got the shirt from the raffle because he showed up and showed out because he about that action.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Oh, and by the way, those that don't know, real quick, actions over words is the way it is and looks the way it is for two reasons. Obviously, copyright infringement because somebody already gonna have the regular spelling. And on top of that, I said, you know what, I'm gonna flip it, and then I'm gonna flip it. So I flip the words backwards, or the word words backwards, and then I put a meaning behind it as well as far as the logo. When your words speak louder than your actions, you're not moving forwards, you're moving backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Actions over words. And if you don't mind, let me make sure the view is right.
Yeah.
I want them to see the back of your t-shirt, sir.
Okay.
You might have to, you know what I mean? Okay, that's perfect, right there. So that's it, stay right there. Your word is your bond. Do what you say you're going to do, or don't say anything at all. I can gladly look at X in the face, shake his hand like a man, and say this man about that action. You did? I just want to put that out there for y'all. Okay? So, let's get into it. So the breathing exercise, please, if you're watching this, do it with us. And you got somebody else with you, take a second, all right? You're going to do it on 3 on the count of me. Take yourself. I'm going to take mine, too. All right. One time for the one time. In through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Out through the mouth. One more time for the one time. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Now, the reason that I implemented breathing exercises into the 237 TV is because, especially living in New York, I discussed this with his younger brother, Gabriel.
Yeah, Gabriel. Mm-hmm.
All right, my man Gabe, you gonna see, shout out to you, little bro, even though he in the next room over there, gonna shout out to you. Who doesn't like a shout out? Yeah, living in New York, like, it's the #1 place for you to feel stress off the rip. Like, you get off the train and somebody curse somebody out, somebody throwing water on you because
It's go time, bro.
like,
It's
bro,
go time.
and you feel like you gotta be. And that's, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to y'all now. Yes, you might want to be on point with it in New York. You know what I'm saying? Be careful, be safe, all that other good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But living here, and I'm glad I was born here because it helps me see things like that. So I can help people that do think a certain way of deal with that as far as angst and anxiety and stress just because they live here in their environment. All of that can make you feel like you gotta constantly be on the go. You gotta be 1, 2, 3, ABC, 1, 2, 3. Like, your life should not be like that all around. There's gonna be times where you're gonna have to hustle and bustle, but for the most part, that shouldn't be your daily existence. So I do the breathing exercises to help you get away from whatever you feel. Even if you don't live in New York, whatever you feel is a stressor on your life. Because let's be real, whatever you're going through is not the end of the world. And God bless if you do have a terminal illness or whatever the case may be. I still want you to do your best to think positive in that moment, because when you think negative, that actually harms you more than you know.
Absolutely.
Okay? So if you're going through something, I love you and I feel for you, and you got this. Because I don't want to minimize anything anybody goes through, so let's understand that too. But yeah, like, I want people to learn how to take a second and just be present in the moment. Because a lot of people don't have that moment. A lot of people not here no more.
Right. Absolutely.
All their moments are gone, but yours isn't. Yours aren't. You're still here. So, do yourself that favor. Take the time, whether it be on the wake up or whether it be when you feel like you need it. Just okay, I got this. You dig what I'm saying? Just breathe. Like, right now, that's the one thing in life that's 100% free.
You can breathe.
You feel me? So
you don't get taxed to breathe.
Bruh, like, do that. And when you take that breath, in that breath, be grateful for it. I'm happy I can do this. It feels good that I am blessed with the oxygen to be able to do this. I'm not
Some people can't breathe on their own, bro.
Yo, like for real.
Some people can't breathe on their own.
And the ones that can't, once again, shout out to you. I love you. Hang in there, please.
Absolutely.
Somebody out here love you, and the people that surround you love you. So keep your head up. And if there's somebody out there that you know that's going through something like that, please put them on to this.
Absolutely.
Have them watch the Real Rap Raw podcast, episode 1, so they can get some love in their life. And know, like, yo, it's okay.
It's real people. Like, me and him are real people.
Mm-hmm.
We don't come from, like,
the greatest backgrounds,
but we just like regular people. Like, it could be like you. We're you. We're just doing something. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, one of my favorite phrases is "we all we got." So you got somebody out there that need a little bit of love in their heart. Introduce them to this, and introduce yourself to a different mindset as well. All right. So with that being said, next question.
Sure.
So I'm gonna tell y'all mine real quick, and then I'm gonna let him get into his. So next question is top 5 dead or alive biggest inspirations. Okay. So mine are gonna be number 1 and 2 is my mother and my father. Okay. And then the next one I got is Tupac, and then the next one I got is a Dr. Sebi. And then
that's a good one.
The next one I got is Nipsey Hussle. Okay. The reason I picked these people, I'm not gonna go crazy about my mother and my father. They gave me life. That's enough for them to be my biggest inspirations. Okay, but I will get into Nip, Tupac, and Dr. Sebi. I actually was introduced to Tupac through my father. He had the whole nose ring. I think he shaved his head bald too. I'm not sure.
Oh, he pops it that?
He was in Tupac big because they both Gemini.
Okay.
So that was his man's. And like me, I was born into Tupac like getting ready to die, pretty much. Because I only got to see him for like, it was 96 he passed away or something, like 95, 96, something like that. I don't think it was 97. Fact check. That's going to be a thing too.
Fact check.
Because not for nothing, we like to keep it real around here in the field, so we going to give
the more you know, like the better you're prepared for anything.
Absolutely. And we like to give out proper information. Nothing fictional, all factual. So while he does that fact check, yeah, Tupac was really about...
Yeah, 96, September 13th, 96.
Okay, this is weird.
1996.
All right, wow.
Yeah, so...
Nah. Look why it's weird. What's the date right there?
That's September 12th.
What day did he pass away?
13th.
Of what?
96.
In what month?
September.
Thank you, Pop. Listen, I don't like, there's a reason for everything. That wasn't like just by chance, bro. I mentioned to him earlier, okay, I wrote this in November. I was like, wait, no, November's not 9, that's 11. It's September, and then boom, the 12th, and then boom. He's telling me this, like everything happens for a reason. Pay attention to numbers, y'all.
25. He was 25 years old.
God bless, bro.
He's younger than us.
Everything is connected. So thank you, Pac, for the inspiration you gave us. Like, and that's what I was getting into. So he was an inspiration for me because he was an activist, and not only did he speak on, you know, all the wrongdoings and everything to our people, but people in general, not just somebody that look like you and me, somebody that doesn't. You feel me? He spoke about all of that, but he also, you know, like my father, he made it look cool. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my pops, because number one, he definitely was the one in my eyes, for me, my example of what doing the right thing and making it look cool look like. That was my daddy. You did? So I can see why he felt so connected to somebody like Tupac, aside from the Gemini thing. But then the next one for me, Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle for me is our version of Tupac. Without all of like, you know, the East Side, West Side stuff that was going on. And more so, I'm sure, because Nipsey was introduced to different ways of thinking after Tupac passed away. So therefore, he said, nah, we got to have Crip and Blood love and whatever gang is around, because the gangs were really made to help protect the people. And there's another conversation that we're going to have at a later date about the biggest gang in America later. Later. But anyway, and anybody that works for them, that tries to do the right thing, I love, respect, and appreciate you. So just know, I don't look at everybody as being the same. We're all human. We got different minds and different hearts. It's how we feel and how we see things. So when that time comes, before we get there, I want y'all to know, everybody that works in that field, I love and appreciate you, especially for doing the right thing. Know that, okay? But so yeah, pretty much like I said, Nip was like, you know, our version of Tupac, just for our generation. So I don't gotta go crazy in detail about that. But and if you don't know, you know, what Tupac did, if you're a little bit younger or you just don't know, look him up. Pardon me. Real rapper. That's gonna be a thing. I'm just gonna be saying every time some real raw stuff happens. Real rapper. Alright. But then my last one was Dr. Sebi. If you don't know about Dr. Sebi,
Dr. Sebi, man.
Dr. Sebi, let me proper pronunciation because my name is Devin, not Devon.
Dr. Sebi, man.
Dr. Sebi introduced
man.
the vegan lifestyle and alkaline. He's a godsend. You know what I'm saying?
He was ahead of his time, man.
You feel me? So thank you, Dr. Sebi, for everything you've done for us and showing us a way to live and a way to eat to live, not live to eat.
Mm-hmm. He scratched, like, I wish he was still around because like he like scratched it. He was like, this is the truth. Like he's uncovering the truth that's known.
I thought you was gonna say scratch the surface.
No,
He did more than that.
He did more than that. I was
Yeah.
thinking, I'm like, no, wait, hold on. He was doing way before like even I knew about him. He was curing people like herpes, blindness, lupus.
Listen to what
other
this man
stuff,
said,
like,
y'all.
all these lupus, blindness. How you're curing somebody who is blind, who can't see
Through what they're
diet,
consuming.
through what they're consuming. It's
I mean,
powerful stuff, bro.
Oh,
It's
now I
powerful
think
stuff.
about like, dang,
Powerful stuff,
Ray
man.
Charles, none of them got introduced to him. I didn't even think about that till just now. But Nipsey Hussle did, and he ain't been out here in this world longer than a Ray Charles. Well, Ray Charles, pardon me, he passed. But like Stevie Wonder,
Yeah.
for example, or whoever else that's a big name that's blind right now.
Yeah. I would
That's
say,
crazy.
honestly, check out Dr. Sebi. Go to YouTube right now. Like he has multiple accounts of like he even helped Michael Jackson like with his whatever his problem was. I don't know what it was specifically, but or you could just go on YouTube, search Dr. Sebi. You'll see a documentary an hour long. That's like a video like this of him just talking. Somebody just recording him, and he's just spitting facts on facts on facts on facts. And I'm just like, and stuff when I go back and look it up, I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. Let me implement that into my diet again. Because, like, it's so much information, like, that he's just throwing out at you that you have to, like, take notes. It's like a class. You're taking, it's like he's lecturing you on what you should be eating. You know what I'm saying?
I should have done told y'all to take notes, but this is recorded on video. So watch it again and take notes again.
Notes, man.
And, time check, cause
Real rap world.
Yep, I gotta make sure I got this new phone, but I gotta make sure I got enough space in it. It ain't leave yet.
Okay.
Well, it ain't leave yet. It didn't end yet. 53 minutes, but it's gonna be cut off because some of the stuff like we was practicing at the beginning.
For sure.
So anyway, so yeah, those are my top 5 dead or alive biggest inspirations. Mr. X, the vegan chef, is gonna speak on his. Go, brother.
So, my mom has 2 slots. So she's my mom and my dad. My dad is still alive though. He's just in DR, like just separation. So my mom, because she brought me here, I was born in DR. Like that.
What age were you?
So I was just 1 year old, bro. Like. Just,
okay.
Yeah, so I came over when I was very young. Like
You're
she
pretty
made
much
that
Americanized.
No, for sure. But
Yeah.
I always kept going back and forth. So I kept my roots still like.
You did have the culture, because not for nothing, we obviously seen that with
Exactly,
the music.
right, yeah. So
Right.
I listen to bachata and all that. Like, I speak Spanish very fluently, and, you know, I'm very much Dominican. But I also understand, like, the overall arching theme, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're all the same people.
Absolutely.
Mindset. What you learn is... So my mom, because she did the heavy lifting, she brought us here, she raised 3 kids, like, she showed me, like, perseverance and, like, doing the right thing. She's the embodiment of that, so...
So you the oldest?
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
Okay.
My sister's the middle child.
Okay.
My brother's the youngest.
I'm the baby for my
You're the
family.
baby?
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm my mom's only and my father's baby.
Okay, yeah. So my brother's 14. He just turned 14. My sister is 24.
Okay.
I'm 27, so just turned 27 this year. So it's like, she showed me the way. Like, she's like, yo, you always got to take care of your people. My brother and my sister, like, family first. We're a close group. Like, we all we got. Like, cause we literally like we all we got. Like, my mom. Anything happens to me, like, she's the first responder. Like, fuck an ambulance. Sorry, pardon me. Ambulance, whatever, fine. But like, she's the first person to be there. Like, put her neck on the line for me. Like, that's like love for me.
And let's be real, we working on our language, but not for nothing. He said it like that because he really meant that. And he felt that's his mama love. So yeah, real rapport.
Biggest inspiration, bro.
Yeah. So mom's number one and two.
And mom's number one is she's taking both spots.
Okay.
I have Dr. Sabi, like he's guiding me on, you know what I'm saying, eating healthier and all that. He's uncovering the truth for us, for our people. Nipsey, I found out about Nipsey once he died. But once I found out all the positive things he was doing in his environment, and he was like employing people, you know, from the area, opening up businesses, being kind, even though he is from a gang, like having somebody show you love, even though they're from that type of culture, even though the media is showing us like, oh, all they do is kill, do the negative stuff,
right?
But they don't show more people like in the positive, like Nipsey. Like I didn't know about him until he died. I'm like, oh, what was his life about? Like, I didn't really know. But once I dug a little bit deeper and like all these projects, honorable projects he was doing, I'm like, yo, this person was a godsend. Like he was a completely different individual from what I thought he could have been. Like I don't even know the name, I didn't even know him. So that's an inspiration right there, like moving forward. The fifth one.
Wait, how many?
No, so I said Nipsey, my mom.
So you got two more.
I have well, two more technically.
Oh yeah, because I said mom thinks up two slots.
Mom is one too.
You want to do two more?
I think I'll do one more.
Okay.
Inspiration wise, I'll say LeBron James.
Oh, go ahead.
LeBron James is a good one because.
And I'll pick him over Michael in the conversation we had before.
LeBron James because. Yo, look at the dude. Like he has a like. Unfortunately, I wasn't raised in a place where like I had a mom, dad, same location. Like they raised me, whatever. Like it was.
You didn't have no cookie cutter lifestyle.
I didn't have a cookie cutter lifestyle, so he's being like an example for so many people. Like you can have a wife, you could be a husband, wife, you can raise 3 kids. You can make it there. You can get yourself out of the place that you're in right now, the hood, right?
Yeah, he was in some real hard situations.
He worked his butt off. He made it to where he wanted to be. He took his friends with him. Loyalty.
Facts.
He didn't abandon them just even after like he made it big. Like he kept those people. He made them their business partners. They're working for him. They're good right now. Now he has 3 kids. They're doing. He's an inspiration, bro. Like
that's a fact.
Fine. Some people don't like him on the court, whatever. But like the person, his character, like speaks volumes, bro. He's a man. Like that already is showing me, like, all right, yo, I wanna live a similar lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanna wife, kids. Like I wanna be that person for them. Set that positive example. I didn't have it. I only had my mom, which is fine too. Like she's a super soldier.
Yeah, shout out to moms. Like
yo,
my
moms, they hold it down. Son. They hold it
shout
down.
out to, all right, you know, we're going to do a quick shout out real quick.
Yeah.
Shout out to my mother, shout out to X's mother, shout out to my friend Allie's mom, shout out to my friend Kayla's mom, shout out to my business partner Desmond and Janice, their mother, and all the moms that I love that consider me like their adopted son. Like I love y'all and I appreciate y'all because you all are a part of pushing somebody like me that has a dream but doesn't have everything in the world to like get to that next level in life. You know what I'm saying? So y'all help bring that love into my life. You know what I'm saying? That not for nothing we all need. You feel me? So shout out to y'all.
Now you're able to like share that because you know what that is. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're not raised with love, like how
you can't give something you don't have. And that's another thing I want, like I know this is a little lengthy, I want y'all to understand something too. With people, it's kind of hard to get something from somebody who was never given it or taught how to give that. So if that's a situation you're going through with somebody right now, or you see somebody else, or you've been through it in the past and you never really figured out why or how to navigate around it, just keep that in mind. You can't give somebody something you don't have to give. So therefore, I just want you to do your best to not look at that person as a bad person because they weren't equipped with that. Just know that that person wasn't equipped with that and they don't know how to do that or they don't have it to give. So it doesn't make them bad. It's just something that they lack. And they can make up for that through you explaining that to them. But they may not ever if you don't put it out there. But just the same way we try to introduce the vegan lifestyle.
You can't expect somebody to just know what you're thinking. Like, you gotta communicate that. And shameless plug for Mrs. Wellness. The Soulful Saturdays, like the last one I went to, it was all about
part two.
Part two. It was just a mental health like
workshop,
and it was so amazing. It was shedding so much knowledge and light onto like how if your mental's not right, everything else will just fall in shambles. And even if you don't know your mental is right, you won't. What was the therapist, the massage therapist? She was like,
shout out to Concierge Spa. yeah. I got y'all on the gram. I'm gonna make sure I send this to you so you watch it. But the young lady, her name, I think it was Vanessa.
It was Vanessa, yes, Vanessa.
Okay.
Vanessa. She was talking about how she didn't know that she went through trauma because your body shuts down to protect itself off of a traumatic event. So she had triggers, right? So her trigger was somebody being, I don't feel comfortable sharing, but it was a trigger it was a touch trigger. So when somebody touched her a certain way, she got triggered and she remembered what she went through. And it's like, people act in a certain way because of what they experience. So you can't really judge people based on their actions if you don't understand,
lack of experience.
Or their lack of experience if you don't understand where they come from, like what they went through, and even that person might not know at that moment. So it's just like being open to different people because it's so many experiences that they go through. So you can't really.
Take time. Get you some more water.
Okay. That chopped cheese was.
Yeah, it's good. That's all you feeling.
That chopped cheese is intense.
Facts.
But yeah, I was saying like, just be open.
This is what you got from the
that's
event.
what I got. Be open and be okay with talking about it. Be okay with actually going to therapy. Like, you know,
people, or talking to somebody. If you don't want to just do therapy, talk to somebody like a friend or family member.
Because in a way, that's therapy. You're getting it out. So
that's a fact.
If you don't want to have the stigma of like, oh, I'm going to a therapist, and this is so off topic, but like it's so important that just talking about it with somebody, a good friend who you trust, you know what I'm saying? It'll help you uncover layers of yourself that you never noticed was covering you up. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact, because sometimes we feel like if we go there, we really take it there. For certain people can be real prideful.
Yeah.
So they don't want somebody to see that side of them to make them look weak, if you will. And it damn sure ain't that. Pardon my French, but it's not. If anything, you're stronger because you're letting that person into another side of yourself. And we gonna pause the real wrap up. Matter of fact, open the door. Go ahead, man. Just let her know what we doing. Yeah. I'm not tripping. That's not mom?
She coming soon now.
Alright, cool. But
see, I live with my mama.
Yeah.
Making it work, yo. Making it work.
Making it happen regardless, you know what I mean? I forgot what I was saying, but anyway, let's get back into the questions and wrap up. I'm digging this though. Alright, so
it's real.
Real rap raw. Okay, so number 5. Where do you see yourself by the end of 2020?
2020? By the end of 2020, I want to be a vendor at Vegandale. I'm speaking it out into the environment, to the world, because I gotta make this happen. I went to Vegandale this past summer, and now I'm not throwing shit on any of the vendors there, but I feel like the product that I have, I didn't come across that when I went there. So I felt something was missing, and it was me.
So that's no shade. That's saying you can just add to it.
Right, I can add to it.
Yeah.
So it's like if I go there, I feel like it'll be a good, more exposure for me, and also sharing the love that I make the food with. So it's a win-win. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm gonna do by the end of 2020.
You may mess around and inspire some other vendors.
Right, exactly. So like people that I know that are vendors too and are doing similar things like me, that can inspire them to be like, oh, if X could do it, like I could do it too. Like,
why not?
X, what I gotta do. So I just want to be an inspiration 2020 and just keep growing.
All right, cool. So y'all see this, right? We gotta hold my man X the chef.
Yeah,
X the vegan chef. We gotta hold him accountable now.
It's on there.
Sometime in 2020, he gonna be at Vegandale and I'm gonna be right by his side with it. You hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So that's good. I like that, and that's a realistic goal because you already you gotta follow him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you on the way, bro. I like that. So all right. Then the next question is number 6. Name 3 big things you plan on crossing off your bucket list.
Ooh, 3 big things.
So for those of you that don't know what a bucket list is, it's an old saying, kicking over the bucket. That means when you pass away. So I'm asking him to name 3 things that he wants to do, 3 big things before he passes away, so he can say, yeah, this part of my life, I feel like I've been fulfilled in that aspect. So go ahead.
So my first one is just conquering certain fears, right? So I have a fear of heights.
Me too.
I have a fear.
You been on a roller coaster yet?
Yeah, I've done a roller coaster.
Right,
it was in like high school, so like that's a while.
I did mine when I was 13. I ain't been on one since. We gotta do it again,
I hated
bro.
that.
We out, Coney?
I hated that. Oh,
wait, they ain't got the best.
Wait, hold on. I'm not talking. Wait, let me get to the.
All right, cool.
The fear.
You see it?
So I wanna and my girl, she jumped out of plane. So
wait, what?
So I want to go skydiving, right? So that's one of my biggest fears that I want.
I always wanted to do that. So, I didn't know that. go Power Rangers. We with it. I look at the surfboard. We with it. No, the snowboard.
So jumping out of a plane is something that I want to do before I kick the bucket.
Okay. We doing that.
Number 2, and this is the fears, right? So I want to be able to say I've conquered my fears or I've met it face to face. The second one is hot air balloon. I want to try a hot air balloon because it's like it's a random thing I always wanted to do.
I always want to do that too. Yeah.
So it's like things that like now that I'm older I can actually go out and do, but like
you see somebody doing it safe, like let me try it.
Right. So and the third one is
was it gonna be fear or something in general? You think?
No, something in general.
Okay.
Something in general, yeah. Too, because I would like to be able to conquer the fears because that's deeply rooted.
Yeah.
I don't want to fall and plunge down like it's just.
I've had nightmares of me falling from like the top level of the mall down the stairs, but not on the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
So
and the third thing is I want to be remembered for my personality, like a good person, somebody that cared for people, that imparted knowledge on people who didn't have it, and just a positive role model in my community is what I can leave behind. So,
all right, did you remember all the questions? Because you about to speak on number 7. When you say all that.
Pardon me, no.
Nah, you good.
So
you can elaborate if you want. So, that's good. So we have making sure we get on that hot air balloon, jumping out of plane, and leaving a good impact on the world and showing them who X is.
Right.
Okay. So, the next question was like I guess you can consider that a good segue if you will. But the last question, number 7, is going to be, how would you like to be remembered after you die?
Okay. I would like to be remembered as somebody who was a kind individual, not without fault, because we all have our faults.
Nobody's perfect.
But I want to leave a positive legacy behind, whether it be my kids or future kids. I don't have kids right now. But ultimately, continue the Hamilton, last name and have that be a positive thing because you can't take anything with you after you're here, but you can be remembered through your name, which is something that Nipsey said in one of the recent songs that came out with the game. He was like, I may die in the streets, but I lived through my name. So it's like something like that, you know what I'm saying? I want to be continuously remembered for the person who, set the stage for my kids to do something even greater than I did. So, because my mom started it with just bringing us here to the land of opportunities, and then I take it to that level, and then my kids will take it to that next level, and it could be like you're taking steps to be.
They can go back to DR and help
you know what I'm saying? Exactly. So I just want to have that foundation and that the money
not be a problem.
Right. Exactly. So that they can
work on their dreams.
Exactly right. So that's ultimately what I want to leave behind.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
I love that. And if you don't mind, I want to get a shout out from what Mom be doing in DR. Like, shout out to his mother because she definitely be holding it down for our people in DR. And she's helping.
All right, we were just talking about this. Yeah. We have so we have 3 TVs here, right? So my mom, anything that she gets, like products that people throw away or things that are in good quality, right, good condition, and people just throw away just because either one they're moving out or they
got something new,
something fresh and new. People back in DR, like people don't have much, like especially my family, like we don't come from a big, background having money and stuff.
We be worried about brand name everything. They just want something.
They just want something that works, like period. They need it. So like my mom holds it down. Like she's such a good person. Like and she doesn't brag about it, but like I toot her on horn. I'm like, yo, you're doing so many great things. So I just want to keep that going, bro.
He's over here looking at the TVs.
Yeah, I'm looking at TVs.
But so yes, shout out to Mama Love.
Appreciate you for that shout out.
Absolutely. Because not for nothing, let's be real. When I say we all we got, it's not because it sound good and it look cool. It's because it's the truth. So her doing that, she doesn't know like one of them kids may come back here and help to keep your legacy, hers alive, and then create their own and help a whole different demographic of people that we don't know about that one person. Just like you doing that for all the people in your circle, me doing that for the ones in my circle. You feel me? So for real, like shout out to mom and shout out to my mother. Like I love you to death. My mom is one of the people that every time she has a conversation with somebody, especially when they're going through something, they feel like they're at ease or they feel a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? They don't feel as stressed about it or they look at it a different way. And a lot of people ask me why I'm the way I am. Yes, I'm a positive person in general, but I do see that the people my mom comes in contact with, because she's a nurse, so her regular job is making sure people feel comfortable, period. So for her to take that to another level, aside from doing it as far as her residents, I'm not going to say the patients because I know there's a different name for certain situations, but for the residents, she also does that for the staff.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I love that because we ain't going to pay attention to that. But the staff, like, think about it like this, right? If the staff doesn't feel good, how do you think the residents are gonna feel because of the staff not taking care of them properly because they don't have the right mindset? You feel me? So mom, I love you and shout out to that because you're affecting a lot of people's lives and I want you to know like, yeah, I know it's a hard job, but trust me when I tell you, you really changing the world in your own way. And people really look at that quote, changing the world, as in, yo, you got to change every single person. No. You changing one person's life opens up the opportunity for them to do that for somebody else. So you're changing the world when you legit just make somebody smile after you walk out the door today. So don't ever sell yourself short or think you're not doing a good service by simply opening the door for somebody. If you know somebody's down, letting them know, hey, it's okay. If you want to talk, I'm here. I'll listen. You don't have to hear me go back and forth with you. If you want to just get it off your chest, I'll be the sounding board. If you somebody ain't got the full change, whatever they gotta give them the $2, $1.
Right.
Like you don't understand how much of an impact a good deed and showing people that good people still exist can have.
That's a good example. You was mentioning that story where, well, not a story, but an instance where he works at.
Oh yeah.
He met this individual where he didn't have enough change for
right.
whatever you just said. It's cool, it's fine.
It was just a penny off, yeah.
And he greeted him with like, proper customer service. It wasn't like a high and buy transaction.
Right.
And then that opened the door for him that he didn't know. You could expand on that.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't called him yet. I'm gonna do that. I got a new phone. I could do that now. But yeah, you know what? The funny thing, his name is Kevin and mine's Devin. Go figure. I know, right? Long story short, I'm not gonna get fired over a penny, but anyway, long story short, the man just, I took care of him the proper way, greeted him, I complimented his suit because my father was always a well-dressed, dapper down kind of brother. So me seeing somebody else dressed nice, it reminds me of my father. So I let somebody know, like, and this is anybody, like, I'll compliment you, not to be on some, like, kiss ASS or, trying to blow smoke up your butt or whatever. It's me simply saying, like, I like the way you put yourself together today because you did have to do that yourself. It looks nice. So I told him his suit looked nice and everything. I told him don't worry about the penny. And he ended up calling and asking for the manager. And I was the manager on duty at the time. I'm a supervisor, so I was, next in line. And he, called asking for me. So they patched him on through to me in the office when I was counting the drawers out or whatever. And he just mentioned that, first he asked if this was the manager, and I said, well, I'm manager on duty. He's like, oh, Devin, the guy who took care of me earlier? I'm like, is the man with the nice suit? He said, yes, sir. I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? So I'm thinking, like, it's about to go left, like, and it went completely right. And that's another thing. We got to stop thinking things are always going to be negative, especially if you're not doing nothing wrong.
Exactly.
But, so, yeah, like, when he called me and, introduced himself, he just wanted to give a compliment to the manager of the store to let him know how he felt about me and my performance just, in that transaction. And he wanted to just give me a compliment and all of that. And then being that it was me on the phone was a blessing because now I found out this man, and say I do get in contact with you, Mr. Kevin, if you watch this or not or whatever, either way, it's me taking that step. Like, I can do that another time. I won't be scared or, you know what I'm saying, bashful.
Right.
But he asked me, like, oh, aside from this, do you do anything else? And I wasn't expecting that because, you know, he's seen the way I spoke, you know, my vernacular, my verbiage and whatnot. And he's like, yeah, you don't just do this. Clearly, you do something else outside of this. And I told him, and he was like, oh, wow, okay. And then he didn't tell me what he did. I said, you know what? Let me take the conversation to the next level and ask him. I swallowed that hard pill, you know what I'm saying, of tucking my pride into the side and asking, you know, because not for nothing, yes, you're going to look like you're asking for a handout when you ask a question like that, sometimes in certain people's eyes, but you can't think like that. So I said, you know what, I'm going to humble myself. Sir, what do you do? He told me he ends up having his own production company as far as like cameras and whatnot. And then he also has a business where he helps small businesses with funding. Now, if I didn't, you know, swallow my pride and ask that man that question, after being all nervous on the phone and whatnot, I would have never been open to find out this information. Now, like I was saying before, like that put me in a position to say, you know what, let me do that in another time, in another instance, because I don't know who I'm going to come in contact with. Pretty much kind of like how me and this man right here that you're looking at met, you know what I'm saying? I opened up that door.
Yeah, because I was around, like, how it happened, I was around in the area. He was like, yo, come here, brother, come here. And that's how that started. Like, it wasn't like...
Okay, I don't even remember.
Like, because you were like, it was a lot going on, but I remember I was just in the area.
I almost lost this sign that day, y'all.
I was in the area, and he was like, yo, come here, let's have a shootout right now. And then outside that conversation started.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, I was walking, seeing the vendors.
I see he had the J's on. I was like, nah, you got to put them to use, my dude. You got to put them to use. So speaking of that, I think this is the part where we get down to the boogie oogie all night long. Real quick. Right. Yo, y'all gonna see me get my rematch live on camera because he brought my behind. That's all right. That's all well and fine to get his little percentage off on these affirmation cards, which he gave to his girlfriend, which I love because she was going through something and he said, yo, babe, I want you to have these and take them and use them. So just so y'all know, there's good brothers out there that care about their woman enough to say, yo, let me give you a tool to help you.
Shout out to my queen, yo. That's all, yo.
What's her name? You want to say it?
Long live the queen, Janika.
There you go.
Yeah, that's my baby.
He love you,
that's
girl.
My baby.
He love you. And I just love seeing love. It's like put that out there. I love it. I love that, man. So let's see if he about that action again or whatever. You know, we'll set this game up. We about to get into it.
All right.
You gonna work on cueing the music. I'm gonna set it up.
Copy.
Oh my God. Are we still recording? Yes.
All right.
Sorry if that was loud though. Nah, I ain't going out like that. Nah, champ.
What song we doing?
Oh, by the way, stay tuned. Eventually, this will be actually not a store near you. MegaMobileMall.com. For all your online needs, holiday or after, New Year, have no fear. Mega Mobile Mall has what you need, and that's Mega with 2 A's. Shout out Mr. Desmond and Janice Wall. All right, let's get into it, man, because ain't no further.
What we doing first?
The one song, the one that I sent you, put it on repeat. Gosh darn it. I'm feeling away, man. He laughing because he know he whooped me on that game in front of everybody that I done made up.
Right.
What you think I brought it here for? I want my rematch, man. He got me feeling some type of way because you're talking to two basketball players who obviously are competitive.
Got you.
Competitive. Alright. Yeah. Y'all hear that? It's about to go down.
This was 2K13, right? The beginner, the intro.
This was the Bulls intro, bro.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like in 2K13.
Oh, for the game in general.
Yeah, exactly.
That might have been.
Because Michael Jordan was on the cover of it.
Wow, you took it back.
Yeah,
Okay. You took it back, my boy.
Took it back.
Oh, wow. Alright, it's going down. Alright. We didn't check the volume.
Back on my book.
Let me stretch. We getting to it. I ain't going out like that. I'm not going out like that. That's crap. How many games did you beat me in? Was it one or we kept playing? It was?
He said one, yeah.
He hit me with the one and done.
Clean version.
Hit me with the one and done. My man. Yeah, that's all right. Listen, Real Rap Raw. Hello. Podcast. Alright, go. Best out of 6. I think it's 6, but however many we got in there. It's X the Vegan Chef.
You gonna see what's going on here.
One down.
Alright. It's free throws with Shaq. There you go. You use a bad
Go
beat.
ahead. Now go from over there from the fan. Let that be. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm going back to back on my bush. Do it one time, they gon' think it's luck. Gotta hit him with the repeat.
Okay.
Do it two times, they gon' still
I might. How many you got?
Repeat.
Whoa.
Gotta flood the streets till they knee deep.
Alright.
Gotta stay woke, can't be sleep.
Two from Mr.
All
X.
flashes don't be cheap. All these back that we keep round. Pockets gotta be deep now. Never lose again, living me deep down. Gotta keep winning, it's a clean sweep now. Tell her back it up, you hit 3 beats now. Big truckload.
Call me Greek Freak Big Buckload. Hey, it's a rap. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. So this is a little free throw. Let me go to the 3 point. This is a little easy. Tell me how he missed. Let me shut up. Hey. You Apollo Creed. I'm that bull in the hood. Alright. Watch your mouth.
Okay.
Yo, nah.
Yeah, you gotta make this one.
Now I got one more.
Okay.
Yo.
Yeah. You gonna tie it? Tie it up.
I need my 3-peat, sir. And then you got the fight. Let me stop. Where's the other one at? Let's go before your mom pull up. See us acting up. It's over here. One of them here. Oh, yeah. Let's go, baby. You have to make it count when it. Ooh!
It's about to lose again.
I'll be the last. Or the last stop. Whoa. Yo, found out that
God
you
of this
wasn't
song.
even been golden. Let's go. Yeah, let's fix the cups. No cheating. Yeah. Boy, it's with none of y'all. I'm about to rewind. Pause, because we're going to get the vibe right.
Back on my book this summer, y'all.
Alright, this is round 2. Nigga, do what it do, young man. Gucci, go out. Yeah, make sure. Get that middle one on the right. Because the middle is sitting on top of the right cup. The back one?
This one?
Yeah. And push the middle cup to the left. Yeah, a little bit. You know what it is? Because they overlapping. Let me see if I can get it without overlapping each other. That's going to affect the whole shot. Okay.
Back on my
Okay,
bullshit.
there we go.
You good?
Back on my bullshit.
Alright, go, bro.
Matter of fact, that was bullshit. I'm going back to back on my bullshit. Do it one time, they gon' think it's luck. Gotta hit him with the repeat. Do it 2 times, they gon'
Three
step
from the
down.
3 point.
Yup.
Hey, now I got a 3-peat.
Whoa.
Gotta flood the streets till they
Ah,
knee deep. Gotta stay woke, can't
Let's go.
Oh, boy.
What's that? Let's go, my
All
boy.
you gotta do is make one. Two.
Gotta keep winning, it's a clean sweep now. Tell her back it up.
Make 2.
Wait.
Two.
Big truckload.
Stop playing with me.
Freak big bucks.
Now I got the show out. Oh, y'all can't see nothing. Alright.
You a Rico.
Little case, you'll snitch.
Not from
Chicago, try to speak.
Ask where's Waldo, I'm too high to see.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate
I do
that.
fly every week. Princess and Lagos.
Dubai with sheets.
Everywhere I
Oh, if y'all don't know what that said,
told her I'm Drago.
let love lead the way every day.
Guys to me, I'm Mercy and Lago. And
You
you
pride your feet. I'm that bull in the hood.
no land got the bull in the hood. Black and red, looking like the bulls in the hood. 23 so
Ah! 3 for 3.
You heard that, right? Fast holding, not me. That was fast, not me.
Alright, what
That was fast. Oh, you don't go. You don't go away. You don't go away. Ah!
Fine.
Yo, nah.
Mommy.
Hey, Ma, we having fun. We recording up on the show. How you doing? I'm Devin. Nice to meet you. You need help with this, guys? Alright, cool. We have a little game. I just beat him in finally. That's what it is. Yeah. I got my rematch. I got my rematch. So on that note, we gonna pause the music. We gonna you got any shout outs, bro? Shout out to Mama Love up in the building.
Made it. What's it called? My
I
boy.
got my rematch.
Still mad at Daniel.
Yes.
Cameraman. You the
Still
goods.
got it. All right, who else? Who
I
you
got Ginger for making X the Vegan happen.
Let's cop a squad. Who else you got?
What's her name? It's we're gonna put it up. We're gonna put it
Yeah,
up.
all the descriptions, like, as far as
We're
like
gonna be
links
there.
and tags, we'll put them down. And we're going off for names right now. Anybody else?
Mom Dukes.
Yup.
Who else? My family, they my motivating factor.
Big shout out to the
Who
family.
else? Miss Wellness for making this happen.
Yeah, thank you, Tanisha, for real.
She got a dope spray. I
Yo.
have it in my car. Shameless plug. It's so good.
Get that.
Who else? We got
MissWellnessLLC.com. That's MissWellnessLLC.com.
Karen. She plugged me in with the demos, cooking demos in Bushwick. Jasmine, super dope, positive. She's like a professional chef. She showed me the ropes on like how to do certain things. Jasmine, you the goat. And I got Vegan Imani. Yo, she connected me to Karen, and like this is why I'm like, blossoming. Like she's an amazing person. She got her own IG. It's called Vegan Imani. She makes cookies, vegan cookies, and she's just an awesome person. She's a nutritionist too. So she was like a connector. That's how I met Karen, and then through that, then that's how I started like growing.
Okay.
So like she was the first like, yo, let me connect you here, and then you. And I'm sure
We don't need a plug.
So
baby.
she was my plug. So those are the shout outs I got, man. Love all y'all.
Facts. I like that.
How about you,
So
sir?
yeah, once again for myself, people don't do this. I'm about to pull a Snoop on you. Shout out to me. one time. You got the love on you.
Doing your work.
So it's not for nothing. Nah, I'm gonna say this because I have a few friends that told me this a lot, especially recently. They was like, "Yo, not for nothing. You are a real dope person. You need to realize that, and you need to hone in on that." So shout out to all my friends that tell me that. Shout out to Mama Love. We about to wrap it up right now, Mama Love. And then shout out to my mom and all my friends and all my business partners. You know who you are. I'm gonna put y'all in the description below so you can have all the people that need to contact you to get whatever they need as far as either services or your products. This is episode 1 of the Real Rap Raw podcast. And cut. All right, we done, my man.
Sorry.